Hey, thanks for joining us today for FYI Friday. And I'm Jessie. I'm your host here at Joe's Quilting Studio. So today we're going to talk about glue. I'm a huge glue baster. I love to glue all of my pieces together. So first we're going to start with a glue stick. This is just a regular Elmer's glue stick, and it has this 3D printed little topper on it, and that way so you can kind of just turn it and the glue in theory is supposed to come out, right? And there we go, there's some. I found this to be kind of cumbersome, and although I wanted to buy a 5-pack of wash away school glue, it just didn't work out. So now I do use the Soline fabric glue pen right here, and you can buy cartridges for it. This washes out, and I can replace these as needed. So there's always, replaceable ones. You can get them on sale just about anywhere. I use the glue pen when I'm doing English paper piecing or if I'm doing any curved piecing. So that's the glue pen, and I love it. Now, liquid glue I use, I would say, about 85% of the time. And there's different ones that is on the market, but I'm gonna be honest, I do stick with just Elmer's school glue. So I started out with Roxanne's basting glue. It is just a PVC glue. I liked it because it had this fine tooth, or this fine tip right here, and so my glue comes out just with a little tiny bead, just like that. These bottles are hard to come by, but it's just PVC glue, which is the same thing that's in Elmer's glue. So as this glue runs out, I just fill it up with this. The problem comes is when your little fine tip gets clogged and you have to replace it. They do put 2 of those in the package. Or when you lose this little tiny little red cap, it falls on the floor. Well, if you lose that cap, this is gonna get clogged and you're gonna go through tips and your bottle's going to be useless. So there's that. Now, a couple of years ago, these tips started coming out. And I love these tips because they're 2-part. Not only does it just screw on to the top of your Elmer's glue like so, right? But it has a lid I can actually screw on and screw off that has a little bit of a needle in it. And there you go. And that keeps your fine tip cleaned out. And so you just put it back on when you're done, and then you screw it back on. And that way we're not fussing with 3 and 4 different bottles. So let me show you how glue basting actually works. You're gonna have your 2 pieces of fabric, which I have here, okay? And I'm gonna glue baste them together before I sew them. I'm just gonna put a tiny little bead of glue right there. And it's at about the 16th inch mark, right there. And then I'm gonna put this aside. I'm gonna line up my other fabric right on top of it. And I'm gonna heat set it. It's very important to heat set it because that's what actually dries the glue. 1, 2, 3. And then yes, it does leave a little white piece, but remember, this is PVC glue and it washes out. It's 100% washable. It's non-toxic. If your kids can eat it at school, you can totally put this in your quilt, right? So let's go ahead and lift it up, and look, it's stuck together. So I love doing this, especially if I have fabric on the bias. This helps kind of keep it from stretching. I don't have to put all the pins in there, and then I can just sew without pins and it pushing it towards the pin. This will evenly distribute my fabric. Glue basting has been a game changer for us. We do keep the glue pins here in the store with refills, and we also just got a fresh shipment of these fine tips. Now another tip, just so you know, back to school time, you can stock up on these bottles of Elmer glue for like 50 cents. This bottle of Roxanne's is like $8, 50 cents. Come down and see us.